Hello everyone and welcome back to me, Shiva Wilson, and my channel, which is all about legalizing recreational cannabis in the UK. Today, I have some reasons here why cannabis in the UK hasn't been legalized yet. So this is what we're up against, people. Yeah, on the campaign. This is your daily cannabis campaign video by me, Shiva Wilson. So yeah, we've got 8 reasons here why cannabis might not have been already legalized, and we'll go through them one by one and yeah, see if there's anything we can do about it. So, number 1. Wait a minute. The legalization of the cannabis in the UK is a complex issue with many factors at play. Here are some of the key reasons why it hasn't happened yet. 1. Political opposition. There is still significant political opposition to legalization, both within the government and among the general public. Some politicians believe that cannabis is harmful and should remain illegal, while others are concerned about the potential for increased drug use and crime. Yep, Mr. Sir Keir Starmer is someone who has been politically opposed to the legalization of cannabis in recent weeks. He said no before the election. He said, no, I'm not going to change drug laws. No, I think the drug laws are about right. No change, even though he's a political party of change. 2, public opinion. This is one thing I'm trying to change here. Public opinion. If you want to learn more about cannabis from a more truthful place, and we're trying to demystify cannabis and get rid of some of the stigma associated with it, by talking about it openly, learning about it in an open way, and yeah, I'm trying to educate, inform, and inspire you people, and I keep you entertained as well. Yeah, public opinion. While public opinion on cannabis legalization is shifting, there is still a significant portion of the population that opposes it. Have I just said that one already? Some people are concerned about the impact on young people, while others worry about the potential for increased drug use and crime. 3. International regulations. The UK is a signatory to the 1961 Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs, which is a UN convention, which classifies cannabis as a controlled substance. This international treaty makes it difficult for the UK to legalise cannabis without risking international sanctions. Well, Canada did it, and they're also a signatory to the 1961 Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs at the UN, and they so far have not been given any sanctions. I'm just going to quickly turn the light on to get a bit more light on the subject. Ta-da! I don't know if that helped. Okay. Health concerns. There are still some concerns about the potential health risks associated with cannabis use, particularly for young people and those with pre-existing health conditions. However, research on the health effects of cannabis is ongoing, and the evidence is becoming increasingly mixed. Yep, there's some positives, some negatives. Some say it causes cancer, some say it causes psychosis. Other people say it can alleviate Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And it's like a miracle cure for a lot of different conditions, and yet some people some studies have shown that it can also cause some negative impacts on health. So there's both positives and negatives on the impacts on health, which is weird, really, isn't it? How can something be both positive and negative on health? Bizarre. Economic considerations. The UK government has concerns about the potential economic impact of legalising cannabis, including the potential for increased tax revenue and the potential for job creation in the cannabis industry. That doesn't make any sense. How can you have concerns about that? However, there are also concerns about the potential for black markets and the potential for increased crime. Yeah, okay, so people are worried about increased crime being caused by cannabis. I don't understand how that works. Cannabis doesn't cause increased crime. 6. Legal and regulatory framework. The UK would need to establish a robust legal and regulatory framework for a legalised cannabis market, including regulations for production, distribution and sale. This would be a complex and time-consuming process. Yeah, I think that might be I think that's quite an insightful insight, as an insightful insight as to why they don't want to do it, because it's going to be hard to actually hash out all the details, pardon my pun. Literally, you got to hash out all the details as to what is this regulatory framework going to look like, and they just don't want to be dealing with it. I think the politicians in the UK are just like, no, it's too hard anyway. Like, how are you going to make everyone happy? How are you going to get this right for health and society? How are you going to get it right for the right level of tax? What regulations should there be? We just don't have the science, people. We don't know what it's supposed to be. And yeah, so I think that could be a real reason why UK politicians haven't looked at it. It's just too hard for them to deal with. They're just not used to this subject of cannabis being legalized in this country, and they're a bit standoffish to it, really. So, social impact. There are concerns about the potential societal impact of cannabis legalization, including the potential for increased use among young people, and guess what? The potential for increased crime. I've got this off ChatGPT, and yeah, it seems to be they're focusing on increased crime. Doesn't make any sense. Law enforcement. The UK police force is already stretched thin, and legalizing cannabis could put further strain on resources. I don't see how. I think it would alleviate resources because they can focus on other crimes rather than low-level cannabis offences. It's important to note, and this is where ChatGPT goes off on a wobbly, it's important to note that the UK government is currently reviewing its drug policy. It's not reviewing its drug policy. If it was, you'd be hearing about it in the news, and I'm not hearing about it in the news. So let's hope that they do review its drug policy, and it is potential that cannabis legalisation will be considered in the future. Of course it's possible. The Lib Dems want it, the Greens want it, and sometimes it looks like Reform want it, but not Labour nor the Conservatives, or they don't speak about it anyway. But it is possible that cannabis legalisation will be considered in the future. It's possible that the Greens and the Lib Dems will try and bring it up in Parliament somehow, and they may well try and create some kind of cross-party, not a coalition, but some kind of committee or a group of MPs, cross-party MP group that want to legalise cannabis and want to talk about it. That may well happen. It would probably have to happen if they want to seriously do this. So, however, there are many obstacles to overcome before it can become a reality. So that's what we're up against. All those reasons are what ChatGPT thinks are the reasons for why the UK hasn't legalised it yet. And what can you do about it? Well, you can sign the petition that's linked down below. You can stay informed, you can watch my videos, you can get inspired to take action yourself. You can email your MP, you could go to a demonstration, you could do a hunger strike if you're desperate. Anyway, I've been Shiva Wilson, you've been watching me, and we've been trying to legalise recreational cannabis in the UK. Good night.